right? Now for high spin complexes. In case of octahedral field, in weak Plugin field, splitting of EGT2G is very less, so energy difference is not much. It will be filled according to Hund's rule. So there is no much effect of pairing, so they are known as high spin complexes. Can we predict whether it is high spin or low spin by pairing energy value? Suppose energy difference between two orbitals is delta E. In such orbitals, two electron arranges by two possible means. Both the electrons in the same T2G orbital and both the electrons are in different, one in T2G and one in EG. In first case, one electron is in lower energy level, one is in higher energy level. If we take the energy value of individual electron is E0, then the total energy will be E0 plus delta E, that is E is equal to 2E0 plus delta E. Well, in second case, both electrons are in lower area, so it is E0 plus E0 to E0, but pairing occurs, that's why P should be introduced. So total energy E is equal to 2E0 plus P. Here in both the cases, common is 2E0. So according to delta E and P values, prediction of low and higher energy having complexes, that is low spin and high spin complexes, can be done. If pairing energy is less than delta E, that is splitting energy, low spin complex will be formed. It is clear that in presence of strong ligand field, energy difference between EG and T2G is more. So electron pairing is more, number of unpaired electron will be less. So in presence of strong ligand field, low spin complex is formed. While in case of P is greater than delta E, pairing energy is more, d orbital splitting energy, pairing of electron will not be much, number of unpaired electron will be more, high spin complex will be formed. In weak ligand field presence, energy difference between T2G and EG is not much, so P is greater than delta E, high spin complex is formed. As I have told you, D1, D2, D3, D9, D8 and D10. In strong and weak field, there is no much change, but change is found in D4, D5, D6, D7 case. It is shown in again in table. So to calculate the energy, CFSE, that is crystal field stabilization energy, in our previous formula we should add MP, where M is the number of paired electron, P is the pairing energy. So our new formula CFS is equal to delta 0.4 NT2G plus 0.6 NEG delta 0 plus MP. I have put one calculated examples related to these topics. You can see in the picture how we can calculate CFSE of various complexes in octahedral case. Now, let me switch over to tetrahedral field. How splitting occurs in tetrahedral complexes? Tetrahedron is the internal part of cube. By joining the diagonal angles of cube, tetrahedral structure is obtained. Therefore, the center of cube will be center of tetrahedron. Ligands are at the diagonal corner of tetragonal, right? How occurs? It is shown in our picture. T2G orbitals are passing from the center of two meeting site of cube. The distance between T2G and EG ligands will be half of the phase angle of the cube. An angle between T2G is with ligand 35 degree and 16 minutes. Thus in tetrahedral complexes, ligands are not on EG or T2G but nearer to T2G. Now, as we know the distance energy of T2G will increase, energy of Pg will decrease. So as compared to octahedral, the splitting pattern of d orbital will become recurves. Now tetrahedral structure is not G-rad, so G symbol should be removed. In octahedral field, due to repulsion of ligands, splitting energy of d orbital is delta 0. Therefore, in tetrahedral complexes, due to repulsion of 4 ligands, splitting energy of d orbitals become 4 by 6, that is 2 by 3 delta 0. In octahedral complexes, ligands are also on each orbital. As on T2G, we have seen the value 35 degrees 16 minutes. Energy is by 2 by 3. Now, in tetrahedral complexes, splitting of d orbital will be approximately half of the tetrahedral complexes. So now increase will be by 0.18 delta T and decrease will be by 0.27 delta T. So we can use formula CFS is equal to minus 0.27 NEG plus 0.18 and T2G delta T plus P. Splitting pattern is shown in figure. I have shown some examples. Factors affecting the splitting energy of CFSE. Now, strength of ligand. It is first factor. The electron pair donating tendency of strong ligands are more, so produces more repulsion. As a result, there will be more splitting, more delta zero value, while weak ligand like H2 shows low tendency to donate pair of electron. Repulsion force will be less, splitting value will be less. And according to these values, we have arranged various ligands in order of strength. This is known as spectrochemical series. How occurs is shown in figure. Type of crystal field. As we know, in tetrahedral field, as compared to octahedral, splitting energy value is 40% to 50% less. Now, because in octahedral, participation of d orbital in Eg and on T2G in same direction, while it is somewhat in between in case of tetrahedral as we have discussed previous. So, show repulsion value delta T 40 to 50% less in tetrahedral. Now, principal quantum number from 3 to 4 to 5, there is increase in energy of d orbitals due to spinning effect. For example, in hexacobalt plus 3d6, it is 23,000 cm inverse, while in rubidium 4d6, 34,000. In iridium case 5d, it is 40,000 cm inverse. Oxidation number. As oxidation number increases, splitting energy value increases due to effect of attraction force. For example, hexa-eco-Fe plus 2 shows 10400 cm inverse, while in hexa-eco-ferric 13000 cm inverse. Now, metal ion nuclear charge, that is number of protons. If number of proton increases, see this splitting value increases. Because number of proton increases, attraction towards ligand increases. For example, in hexaco-vanadium and in hexaco-chromium, ligands are same. Number of ligands, metal oxidation number, everything is same, but delta zero value difference. Contribution of electron orbital rotation in magnetic properties of 3D complexes. As we know, paramagnetic property of complexes depends on two types of rotation, that is spin rotation and orbital rotation. So our formula becomes mu s plus L is equal to under root n into s into s plus 1 plus L into n plus 1 Bohr magneton, where L is the total spin momentum of unpaired electron, L is the total angular momentum of electron. Now, following conditions should be obeyed for the orbital rotation of electron. Orbital should be degenerated, symmetry should be equal, spin of electron should not be changed during rotation. If all three conditions are fulfilled, electron can rotate from one to another orbital. At that time, orbital rotation contributes in magnetic momentum value. Out of these three conditions, if one of the conditions is not obeyed, there is quenching of orbital rotation. So magnetic momentum value depends only in spin value, and we find our formula mu s is equal to under root n into n plus 2 Bohr magneton, where n is the number of unpaired electron. In our FIBSc, we have studied that in 3D transition integrals, magnetic momentum calculate by this formula. Now, orbital rotation is not possible if all three conditions are not fulfilled. Okay? But sometimes there is change in value. If I take the case of nickel, 2 unpaired electron, so it should be 2.83 Bohr magneton, but we are getting 3.32 Bohr magneton practically. This change can be explained by crystal field theory due to contribution of electrical orbital rotation and overlapping of metal ion ground state with the nearer excited state. Orbital contribution to magnetic momentum in various crystal field. EG orbitals show shape and symmetry somewhat different. So electron cannot rotate from dx square minus y square to dz square. So there is no orbital rotation in these two orbitals. They do not contribute in magnetic momentum. Therefore, EG orbitals are known as non-magnetic diplet. T2G are degenerated orbitals, symmetrically equal. So rotation of orbital is possible in octahedral and tetrahedral complexes in presence of weak field. So obtain the n electrons, rotation possible. Okay, so in strong field, electron orbital rotation is not possible in ground state. How occurs? It is shown in our table. We can say that in weak field, D1, D2, D6 and D7 case structure, and in tetrahedral weak field, D3, D4, D9, D10 structure, due to orbital rotation, electron practically retained. So magnetic momentum value are found more than theoretical value, as we have studied in case of nickel. It is 3.32 instead of 2.83. How magnetic momentum value is useful to determine the structure of complexes? As we know, Ml4 type complexes, whether it is sp3 hybridization or whether it is dsp2 hybridization. For example, tetracyanonickel, due to cyanide ligand, pairing occurs under the ligand field and there is no unpaired electron, so there is no magnetic momentum value. So I can say it is dsp2 hybridization, while in case of tetrachloronickel, it is chloride weak ligand and there is unpaired electron, so we get some magnetic momentum value, it is 2.83. Similarly, in case of Ml6 type of complexes like hexaamino cobalt plus 3, hexafluorocobalt minus 3, we can also predict how hybridization occurs. In case of cobalt, due to presence of ligand, pairing occurs. There is no unpaired electron. Only D2sp3 hybrid orbitals are found. Okay. But if it is strong ligand, then pairing of electron possible. But if it is weak ligand, there is no pairing and hybridization changes. In case of D1, D2, D3, according to magnetic momentum value, we can study hybridization, but we cannot decide magnetic value. Okay, whether it is sp3 or d2 sp3. While in D9 complexes, sp3 or sp3 d2 hybrid orbitals, it cannot be also determined by magnetic momentum value, whether it is tetrahedral or octahedral. So this is somewhat limitation of our content. Thank you very much.